Morning, people. Welcome back to the grumpy old bastard in the corner. Well, I was going to leave old Jabit all alone today, but yesterday his little face, you know, the one that looks like a balloon with a pair of ping pong balls stuck on the front, was the only one saying anything. And the way he's going on, he's turning into one of the most dangerous men in the country at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. Yesterday, he come out with, you don't need face-to-face appointments with GPs. Yeah. Well, let me tell you now, you fucking moron. A few years ago, if I hadn't had a face-to-face interview with my GP, there's every likelihood I wouldn't be here now. Yeah? I'd had headaches for a few weeks. Tried to get an appointment with my GP. I had to wait a week for it back then, and I'm going back not so long back, in the last 10 years. And I could only get an appointment the following week. So I went in, had my appointment. She poked and prodded and looked at me for a few minutes. Made me lay down on the little bed that they have in there. Told me to keep still. Shoved a needle in my stomach. And said, don't worry, and she disappeared for a minute or two. And she came back in. She said, now, lay still, don't worry. She said, the ambulance is on its way. And, well, you can imagine what was going through my fucking head at the time. Yeah, 8 weeks later, I was let out of hospital. After having many scans, MRIs, all sorts of things, constant injections of shit. I couldn't move around. If I cut myself, I'd bleed like a stuck pig. Yeah, 8 weeks of that before being let out. And while I was in there, they told me if I hadn't got in within a day or two of when I did, it would have just exploded in my brain, basically. So, Jabit all. You don't think people need a fucking face-to-face appointment? You bug-eyed freak. You shouldn't even be in that job just for that statement. You absolute knob. Sorry about the swearing, people, but I've been there. This was happening to me, and he comes out with that. You know, I'll poke you in them fucking eyes. No, according to him, there's a tidal wave of this alleged Omicron, whatever it's called, Septicon, new variant. And I say alleged because in my opinion, I don't see it. What I see is our normal seasonal flu breaking out everywhere. We've had it every year for years. Some people get a little bit more ill than others. Most people shrug it off. Most people don't even know they've had it. And those that have got underlying problems or are old or near the end of life, if they catch it, sadly we lose them. This happens every year and has done right through my bloody lifetime. And right now, I'm not seeing anything different. they're doing everything now based on one death, which they said was with Omicron. Not of it, with it. Well, we know what that sort of thing means with them, don't we? You've just made yourself look a cock again, Jabit. You really have. It just shows that these guys up there are proven liars, and it's obvious that honesty is not a requirement to become an MP. That's been apparent for months, years. So up goes the propaganda machine. Jab, jab, jab. He really ought to engage his brain before opening his mouth, that little prick. He really does. And now you've got this, you want to jab 1 million a day. Not a fucking hope in hell. You haven't got the resources, you haven't got the manpower. And if you think a lot of the NHS are going to come out and help you after you've threatened them with their jobs next March, do you think they're giving you their best at the moment? Because if it was me, I wouldn't be. And they'll lose their jobs if they don't follow your little mandate narrative. Well, a friend of mine, when was it? Saturday, came round to see me. We were having a chat. Now, he's double jabbed. I don't have a problem with it. He doesn't have a problem with me not being. You know, that side of that ends there. But he actually stopped in on the way to go in to get his booster. And him and his missus, we had a good chat. And he was looking at some of the stuff I had on my computer, some files, paperwork, research, a couple of short videos. And yeah, off they went. They were quite happy on their way. Going to get jibby jabbed, get the booster. Like good little sheep, although he isn't. He believes it will keep him a bit safer, and he's willing to take the risk. I have no argument with his decision if that's what he wants to do. Never have argued with people about that. If they feel they need it and they're prepared to take the risks involved, very minimal risks, I will add, but they're there, then fine, I don't have a problem with it. So about 4 hours later, he called back in after doing around 40 odd miles. Couldn't get a booster anywhere. There was either miles and miles of queues that weren't moving because they weren't doing anything, or one of them, there wasn't even anybody there. The place was shut. So unfortunately, because of that little incident, Jabit, you've lost another sheep, because he said with the little risk to what's coming, he said, nah, he said, I ain't going to fucking bother. Ain't going to bother. So that's another 2 pairs of eyes opened. Because of your inadequacy, you little prick. And he's done with it. He said, nah, he said, I'm not listening to him anymore. They can make as many rules as they fucking want, he said, and I don't give a shit. He said, I'm just going to live my life now. He said, I'm having an easier time of it than he is. And he's been double jabbed. So he said, fuck him. There you go, Jabit, Boris. This is what's happening all around the country. Yeah, now, we know it's coming. I've said this all along, in the beginning. But it did say, the way things are looking, I gave my opinion on mutations of viruses all way back in a video. And in my opinion, each time a virus mutates, it gets weaker. This is what I've found with my research. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a medical expert by any of the stretch of the imagination. This is just my opinion on what I've seen in my research. Most viruses, apparently, allegedly, will get weaker with each mutation. Now, with this one apparently not having as harsh as symptoms, nowhere near as many hospitalizations, and 1 death. Now, I'm quite happy to sit back and let this wave come over. A few people get sick, as I say, 1 or 2 infirm will get lost, as they always do this time of year, sadly. Last year I lost my mother in November. 2000 I lost my father in November. So yeah, this time of year is one of them periods. But yeah, I'm happy for this wave to go over. If it's mutating from the original virus, the Delta or whatever, it's weakening it. That's just my opinion and what I concluded from the research I've done. Like I say, don't take it as read or as fact even. You know, look into it yourself. And all this, they've just panicked. Well, now they're very, very dangerous because they've thrown everything in their arsenal at it. Literally everything. The only thing they've got left to bring out is a lockdown. Think about that. Everything they've got now, they've thrown at it. There's nothing more they can do. Lockdown's the only thing they've got left, and that makes them dangerous. And I believe it's coming. Anyway, yeah, that's, I mean, I've got other notes here, but most of it I can't say on here. I'll save them for the next BitChute video. Okay then people, that's me done for today. As always with Heather at work, I do all the housework, and that's my next port of call, and then back to edit this. May even get it up later. Until the next one guys, as always. Oh, great to see most of you, or quite a few of you, on PAP Live again last night. It was only supposed to be a 20-minute one. As usual, 2 hours later we're still there, but the poor sod was knackered. I was falling asleep here, and I've only had about 3 hours sleep in the last 72 or something like that. So I'm going to get my head down a bit later for a couple of hours. So until the next one people, as always, thank you for your support. My respect to each and every one of you. As always, stay safe, stay strong, stay free from tyranny and oppression. I'm gone.